Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jacks, and my trusty cup of tea. I like pencils. I like pencils so much, I always have one in my pocket. Here is a Faber-Castell Perfect Pencil with a little bit of pencil left. This pencil extender works so well that I've even started collecting the little bits of pencil that it leaves me. That shows how well it functions as a pencil extender. But there are other types of pencil. I have been asked if I would talk a little bit about one particular variety of pencil, the clutch type. I use them a lot, other people like them, so let's have a look at them. Before I get into clutch pencils, I've got to just show you this. Some years ago, my family had a holiday and my daughter had some exams shortly after that holiday. And we were sitting in the garden and had a nice tea in this very pleasant hotel in Evesham. And she took her watch off while she was doing some playing around and then forgot that the watch was there. And when we went back to the table in the garden, there was no sign of her watch, so we went into reception to say, really sorry, we seem to have lost our watch. And as we were there chatting, the receptionist said, well, where do you think you had it last? And we said, well, we think we put it on the table outside. And it was one of those nice cast iron tables with big gaps in between. And as we were talking to the receptionist, we could hear the lawnmower outside going along, and then there was this sort of graunching sound as it went over the bit of ground underneath where my daughter's watch was sitting. And this is all we managed to find on the ground that day. Half a strap, I don't know where the other half went, parts of the rim, the watch face, bezel, whatever you call it, the back of the watch, a strange bit of, I assume, mechanism, and another little bit of mechanism, which was probably a battery cover, and the face. I found this when I was just having a little dig around the other day, and I thought, oh yes, that's the sort of thing that people on YouTube are always interested in. Right, today is about pencils. I love my little Perfect Pencil because it has a pencil, it has a rubber, it has a pencil extender, and it has a sharpener, which works very well. This is my everyday carry pencil because it is a neat package. What's nice is, as you get through the different pencils, you can use different makes of pencil. Now this is my favourite type of pencil. It has a particularly dark lead. It's the Tombow Mono 100, which is really gorgeous. It's beautifully made. The paint is almost like a lacquer. It's just wonderful. And it's a little bit fatter than the average pencil. It's fatter than a Faber-Castell. But we're not here to talk about these types of pencil today. No. I've been asked to talk about clutch pencils. Now, the reason I was asked was a nice person who wanted to use a pencil that looks remarkably like this. Now, to my embarrassment, I cannot find the comment on YouTube, and I didn't make a note of the person's name or the name of the pencil he or she was asking about. So my apologies for that. But I thought it was a suitable topic for conversation, so this is a large size clutch pencil. It has, I think, a 5.5mm lead. As you can see, it is really quite chunky. And a clutch pencil is called a clutch pencil because when you press in the button at the back, you get a clutching mechanism that clutches the lead. It is a lead holder type of pencil. You can hold it completely enclosed in your pocket, and then when you want to get the lead out, just squeeze the end and the lead will drop out by gravity. that is a clutch pencil. Very simple design. They've been around for donkey's years. I use this all the time for sketching because I just love the feel. Some years ago, I bought one of these. It's the same pencil with exactly the same mechanism, but it's got a different type of wood. This is a bog standard birch or something, I assume. This, by the same manufacturer, E&M. You can just see the E plus M there, whereas this has E plus M there in dark. So they're the same pencil. The difference with this is that shape. It's got lovely bulging contour, which I thought looked just gorgeous. And as soon as I saw it, I had to have one. In reality, I find the parallel-sided one a great deal more comfortable to sketch with. It's just that little bit thinner, and it makes it that little bit more comfortable to sketch with. But either of these are fantastic pencils. Now, there's lots of different types of clutch. They don't have to be that size. Here, for example, is a really nice KOH-I-NOOR. Now, I used to have pencils like this when I was at school. They were particularly useful. It was felt because they had moderate sized leads. You could normally pull the cap off and then turn it around, and that became a sharpener. I had mine at school for most of my career until, as I mentioned last week, I moved on to I can't reach it out right now without knocking my cup of tea over, so I won't, until I got hold of a propelling pencil made by Parker, which matched my fountain pen. So this type of pencil has been with me for a long time. This is Indian made by KOH-I-NOOR, and it is a really effective, easy to use clutch pencil. But it's not quite my favourite. This is a rotring version. This has been with me out and about a few times. It is a clutch pencil, and it is remarkably similar to the KOH-I-NOOR. What exactly is the difference? Well, the difference is this one does have a sharpener on the end of the cap. So when you extend the lead, you can then sharpen it like that. And suddenly you have a much sharper pencil. Isn't that neat? I think that's very neat. Does mean you end up with a load of lead in the end of your cap, which you then have to dispose of. That is disposed of. Now, the thing about this is, it's a great deal more expensive. It is a rotring. It does have a nice section down here where there's some grippy engraving cut into the plastic. The KOH-I-NOOR doesn't. But the KOH-I-NOOR, I think, is a very attractive, appealing pencil. And it works very well. I press the button, the lead shoots straight out, as you can see. Whereas with the rotring, I press the button and the lead stays pretty much where it is. Now, I don't know if that's just a fault on this specific pencil, and other rotrings are a great deal more effective, but it is irritating. Let's just look through the other things. So both of them have very effective clips, so they will hold onto your shirt. This one has some effective engraving down the bottom here. It has the sharpener in the lid, which is useful, but there's a downside to that. For example, I once was out sketching in Exeter, and I took the cap off before I thought about things, and the lead went somewhere into the middle of this field of pasture, which was quite frustrating because I then had no pencil. For some reason I didn't have my perfect pencil with me, so I couldn't use it. So it has got a failing from that point of view. This, however, you actually have to unscrew the end cap. Now, it does have these fingers, which are theoretically a pencil sharpener. Does it work? Not that well, really, no. So I do prefer the pencil sharpener with the rotring, but apart from that, there is next to nothing to pick between these two. I think that the rotring does actually feel slightly nicer in the hand. It has got this, by the way, which is an adjustable gauge, so you can see exactly what the quality of pencil lead is that is in the pencil. I'll just demonstrate that a bit better. So it's got 4H there, but in fact I'm using an HB. Now that's great, but of course the darn thing can slide around when it's in your pocket or wherever it might be. So I've never found those particularly useful. What I tend to find much more useful is to just stick to the same pencil lead all the time, which is what I do. So, rotring or KOH-I-NOOR? What's the difference between them? Basically, money. The rotring is a German-made pencil, which is superbly well manufactured. It's very appealing, it feels nice. The KOH-I-NOOR is an Indian-made pencil, which is very effective and feels very nice. I've had this for slightly longer, and I use this basically when I'm doing sketching and outlining on any watercolour. I use this as well now. I wouldn't be able to honestly say that there's a reason to pick one over the other though. And for me the KOH-I-NOOR is perfectly good. But when I'm doing sketching with big chunks of paper, this is still the one I resort to. I love it. There's no pencil sharpener in the lid. You have to get yourself a different type of lead sharpener. This is one such, which I use quite a lot. Nice, simple design. And you just drop the lead in and sharpen it. And it's very effective. But this will often be in my pocket when I'm out and about and I've got a bit of paper nearby, and I'll just do a little sketch when I'm out walking. It's a really nice pencil. Hope that was interesting. I hope it answered the question to the person who asked the question. No idea who it was, as I say, but hey ho, there you go. So, 3 different clutch pencils, one perfect pencil for my pocket, and another clutch pencil for staying at home because it's not quite as comfortable to use as the other one that was cheaper. How irritating. And now, I'm going to be off because I've got work to do. You should too. You ought to be getting on with something. But for next week, I've just been given a number of things to review, ranging from notepads to stamps. And one thing I'm going to be talking about next week is self-inking stamps. Not something that you'd use all the time, not something that you would think of a great deal, but self-inking stamps because I discovered you can get Q codes made into stamps, and then I can add them to my business card, to letters, to other things, just as a little bit of marketing, with a Q code that takes you straight through to my website. Isn't that fun? And because I was buying that stamp, I started looking at other stamps and how they work, and I thought that could be quite an interesting topic as well. So next week I think we'll be talking about rubber stamps and things. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to support the channel, go to the bottom. There's a Patreon link or a PayPal link. But if you want to just subscribe, hit the bell button so you're notified of new videos, and like it, share it, tell your friends, and see if I can boost my subscribers to 10,000. I'm on 7,300 now, which is quite surprising. I seem to be increasing at the rate of 500 a month right now. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. I was told last week that no one could hear the sound of the dog biting her nails. Can you not hear that? Stupid dog.